you're being asked to slow down. This is not to say that you are being encouraged to stop, by no means. You are moving forward. You are moving out of an era of your life where you felt like you had to be defensive over your energy or defensive over what you were creating. Now, what is being offered, the message today, is to allow yourself to soften into the process, to feel relaxed, to feel like you can really just be yourself again, like this is about like allowing the journey to feel easy again, because that you are 100% being guided. This is what is really coming through. Like your creative power and your genius and your most intuitive self is like you already actually embody that, and you know who you are. You intellectually know who you are and energetically have embodied that. And the divine is moving you forward into a new environment that is much more suited to your energy now. But I think that there are still some things that you are bringing that you feel are coming with you. And that is some pain from the past and a little bit of a wariness, like a distrustful energy towards life, I think, in general. But you're being encouraged to allow that to fall away, because you're healing. You're healing from things that have hurt. You're healing from things that have made you feel like you need to be defensive or careful in this world. And this has been a process, or is a process, of emotional and psychological healing that the divine is helping you. Because I asked the goddess for a message today, and this is what we're getting. You have been, I think that in the past you have been defending opportunities, or rather potential, okay? You've been defending potential that has sort of proven to be not worth defending. Now, let's see what I mean by that. Let's get some more cards on this. Because there's a Page of Pentacles and a Seven of Wands, both in reverse. And I'm feeling like there's this feeling like you needed to, so you're purifying and alchemizing all of the little things and the little movements forward that you have been doing in the past. Okay, so you're mastering something. I think this is what is happening. But by mastering it, it's like you've actually intellectually and holistically stepped outside of it to view it from a greater, or like a broader perspective. And this has allowed you to see where there was folly, like where there was false, not false devotion, but like where you may have been allying yourself with certain things, with certain people, projects, or potentials that in fact were not going to be fruitful, or they were illusionistic in some way. They were illusions in some way. This is really interesting. So this has a lot to do with your creativity. It has a lot to do with your work. This reading in general is about, it's a message for your soul purpose in this world, your creative gifts in this world. So that's the message that we're really opening up to today. If this relates to you in terms of relationships, or it brings that in, then that's also great. But because all of these aspects of life are entwined and they are all interconnected. But I am really getting that there is a process of softening and healing, and remembering that your experiences, even though they may have weakened you momentarily in the past, or made you doubt the softness of life to some degree, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. So you are kind of reestablishing your sense of worth, yes, but I think you already know what your sense of worth is. I think you already are aware of this. This is a message to remind you that you are, in fact, the artist, the writer, the channel. You are filled with creativity, filled with ideas. The goddess, or the Holy Spirit, the life force energy of our planet, of our universe, flows through you. And that this is your soul calling. This is what you're here for. This is what you're here on planet Earth for. There's a card here that says moved by the goddess. And so I do think that this reading is finding the people who really are activated by the divine feminine. And that does not mean that you have to be a woman at all. The divine feminine in a spiritual sense, in truth, is not about gender. It's not that the universal forces, let's say, are split in masculine and feminine. That is in itself an illusion. Like, that's not true. The real truth is that the wholeness, that there is this wholeness that encapsulates or encompasses all masculine, all feminine, and everything in between. But the Holy Spirit, the like expression of the divine, is often characterized as feminine. And that's because it's the actual creative force. So I don't know why I'm explaining this. You probably resonate with this. Maybe you're interested in goddess archetypes. But so because the feminine is the portal to things being birthed, right? Like the woman's body is this portal to being birthed. We have associated it historically and religiously with the female body. So with expressions of femininity, it's embodied as feminine, but it's so beyond that. So I hope you know, maybe someone here who's drawn in is interested in Tantra or is interested in non-dualist traditions, and because this is at the heart of that, where Shiva and Shakti are one and the same, but Shiva is this Shiva is the pure essence of all things, and then Shakti is the expression of the pure essence. So they're like the same thing. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't know why I went down that tangent, but I'm going to leave it in. I did call on the goddess energy today for this reading, so I guess she's speaking for herself and making sure that people understand that. But you are moved by the goddess, so to speak. So that means that you are moved by life force energy. You're in alignment. You're following your soul's calling. You are. And it's creative by nature. So it doesn't mean that you're an artist or a writer. Maybe you are. Maybe you are that and many other things. But in any case, your life is it's driven by creative connection and by the force of creativity that flows through you, okay? But anyway, you're being asked to remember that you don't have to be functioning in a way that like the external world expects you to, okay? So when I first pulled these cards, I initially got this message about a kind of like false masculine energy. Like there's this masculine patriarchal like capitalist type vibe that a lot of creatives feel like they need to play by the rules with. They need to like hustle and burn out in order to be seen as like functioning and worthy. And so there's a message really coming through that in fact you need now. I think you're healing actually from that kind of burnout. Like you're healing from a phase of your life or a whole period of your life where you were basically being convinced to function in a way that's not natural for you. And so the message today is you must slow down. This is part of sustainability for you. This is part of being creatively sustainable, and what's the word I'm looking for right now? It'll come to me in a second. And that you get to soften into this process, which is the opening message I had today as well. You get to be like, you get to go easy on yourself. And I think this is something that you're reclaiming. You also, another message that's coming through is learning how to do this in a way that's balanced and that is based on your capacity, right? So this is not about softening just for the sake of being slow and soft, or for being kind of like meek and passive and not taking chances. This is about understanding that your system, your nervous system in your body needs to know, like, needs to be able to feel safe for it to expand. This is like 101 nervous system capacity work, where if you just try to force something to happen, you will clench harder, which is literally what happens when we try to force and push ourselves creatively or in any other way, and we find ourselves just freezing or totally burning out or like freaking out and self-sabotaging or something. That is just a response to pushing the nervous system too fast or too intensely beyond a boundary, beyond a capacity boundary. The work that I do, by the way, is like in one-on-one sessions, is about reorienting the capacity so that you can actually make aligned action or take aligned action. So if you're interested in that, check out my description box, because there's links there for sign-ups and stuff for working with me. But in any case, this is your message, is to allow, you must allow your nervous system to create the supports and find the supports that allow it to rest fully, to decompress, so that you can actually, and this is so you can actually move forward on the things that you want. But this is also about not giving up, right? This is why we're doing this, because we want to expand. We have things we want to do, things we want to create, visions we want to bring into the world. And you need to be doing this in a way that's aligned with your natural energy needs and your natural body's needs. You have experienced a life up until now that has made this seemingly impossible, that you were not allowed to respect your boundaries. You were not allowed to tell people what you needed and actually receive it. You were not allowed to do things in a way that was soft, that was just guided by, the life force that was within you, that's very wise, that will tell you when it's ready to be resting or ready to be creating. And you've actually been hurt by this. This has like been a harmful, psychologically and emotionally and physically harmful thing that has happened, having to live in that way. And so you're healing from that through understanding the body, through respecting your need for softness, your need for rest, and also through connecting with divine through your creativity, because that is a very wise way of moving through the world. Conventionally, people think it's foolish, but it is actually deeply, deeply wise, because you're in connection with life force, with God. And so this is about like a holistic connection that you now have with the divine and with your physical world and with what you're creating. And you're doing this by expanding in increments, putting the supports in place, expanding by increments, putting the supports in place, expanding in increments. And that allows you to actually move forward. Even if the moving forward is a gradual process, that's in fact perfect. It's perfect for you, because it means that you get to keep your light and your power flowing. You get to, that fire, that creative fire just stays alight. This is what I'm getting, is also a form of tending the temple of the creative fire, right? So like keeping the flame alive involves respecting the energetic needs of that flame. If we try to like force a fire to bloom too soon, to like become bigger, or to like, if we put in a whole bunch of wood, like a bunch of fuel, just to try to get it to be big before it's actually ready, it will burn out. Whoa, that's a powerful message. Clocking that for later. And so part of this is like, it's an art in itself, dealing with the creative life force energy and the nervous system, and understanding the connection between our bodies and what we create, our needs energetically and physically, and what we create, our emotional capacity, our emotional needs, and what we create, is fundamentally important. So that's this message. That's what this message is about. Amazing. I might have to do another reading on this, or another video on this, because it's so important and so powerful. There was a message coming through about thinking that one idea or one potential offer, one potential creation is going to bring in the success. And the spiritual truth of that is that it's not about one specific offer. It's not about one golden key or one golden nugget that you find and can then show the world, and that's going to bring you success and happiness. Your joy and your access to joy and your access to creativity is eternal. And so the message that's coming through, this really powerful spiritual message that's coming through today, is that what's most important is staying in connection with the creative fire itself and not focusing on what is going to bring you that like coin right away. Also shifting the focus from things that will bring money to things that are spiritually aligned. And I know that that's kind of annoying because it's like, what, I'm supposed to bypass my financial needs? I'm supposed to bypass? No, we're not talking about that at all. The Empress has come out to clarify things. The Empress in the world, this is like ka-ching energy. This is like, the Empress is complete, has much more than she needs. So much so that she can feed others. Like she is herself an abundant source of riches and like, you know, life force energy. And you're also being encouraged to keep creating. 8 of Pentacles here. Underlying energy, 10 of Pentacles. So you are absolutely, like I said, you're on track. Your refinement of the craft and you're continuing to produce, right? This is about producing, like staying in alignment with your creative energy so that you can enjoy the process of creating, because the enjoying of the process is what builds the 10 of Pentacles. It's what builds the legacy. So it's not just one thing that's going to like pop off and bring you success. It's not one thing, okay? We need to put that away. Maybe there's been, because of this burnout energy, because we've been aligned to, or unfortunately kind of like dragged outside of our own like real internal guidance system and become a little burnt out on the process, there's maybe this desire or this yearning to just like get one thing right and then it's all settled and then you find your success and you can just go play for the rest of your life. And so something really important, I think, is actually coming through in this message, which is that the goddess, the life force, the God energy is telling us that what is being healed in slowing down and caring for the nervous system is actually your ability to continue to become someone who continually produces beautiful things, is someone who is a creative force in this world. It's not a one and done. It's a way of establishing creative sustainability, like I said, which means you become an established figure in the world who then can build a beautiful life for yourself, a beautiful world that is full of riches, absolutely financially secure, a legacy that lasts for much longer than you, and something that really matters, something that matters to you, like something that would be in deep alignment with your values, that you are proud of, that you want to pass on to others. The world is like, this is the key. Like, this is the whole thing. This is the whole message, the whole picture, maybe the whole meaning of like our lives, in a sense, is to find a way to work, but to work in an inspired capacity and in a way that actually allows us to build a better future for ourselves and for others. Amazing. I'm going to leave the message there so it doesn't get too long, but thank you so much for hanging out. Like I said, if you're interested in going a little deeper, but also in building your own capacity and strengthening your own capacity so that you can really get into proper alignment with what it is that you are capable of doing right now on your path, and actually work with your nervous system rather than against it, then check out my one-on-one container, because it is powerful. So yeah, if you are interested in that or in getting a personal tarot reading from me, check out the description. It's all there. And otherwise, I would love any kind of interaction on these videos, because I'm just a new channel and we're growing And any kind of interaction is obviously helpful, as you know. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. It means so much to share these messages with you and to create this beautiful space. So I'll see you next time. Bye.